What's up, guys? What's going on? We may have to start streaming an hour earlier or something. Yeah, if Alex is streaming now. Maybe we stream at 7. Hey, shout out to everybody who's still here. That's crazy. Much love. Alright, what's going on, Fecker? What's going on, JR? Bull Runner? Quick Smoker? Bearded? Async? What's going on, my man? V Monitor, good to see you. Don't know crypto? What's up, man? Andrew Cameron, what's up, my guy? What do you guys think about streaming an hour earlier? If Alex is going to be streaming at 8. You guys make it? What's up, Luke? Alright, maybe we'll do that tomorrow. TF, long time no see, brother. How you doing? Only on Tuesday, Wednesday. Alright, then maybe Tuesday, Wednesday we stream at 7 and then we go back to regular time. Of course, Julie, I appreciate you. You're day one. Well, as always, I appreciate you guys spending your time with me for this, hour or sometimes longer at night, guys, to talk about trading. It's pretty awesome what we build here, guys. We're gonna have channel memberships and stuff in like a couple days. What a crazy journey that's been, guys. We're about to get monetized. It's crazy. Man, it's been a wild 6 months. All right. So, what have we done? So, oh, I almost forgot, guys. I almost forgot. What's going on, Barb? Hey, TF, you've been a supporter since the beginning, man. Isn't it crazy how far we've come, man? Dude, I wish Aaron was in here. Aaron's been here since the real beginning. Okay. So, we were talking about yesterday. How's the volume on the music first? Music good? Alright. What's up, Tanya? Good to see you here. Man, Alex is streaming. We still have 20 people in here. You guys are legends. Let's go. Yeah, so we were talking about setting a high here on the 4 hour, which we have now done, which is cool, but it doesn't really change anything yet, right? Because if we're looking at our 4 hour structure, yes, we've taken this low, but with the Coinbase chart, I mean, it changes something on the Bybit chart, right? Because instead of our strong high being up here, our strong high is now here. But on the Coinbase chart, our strong high was here the whole time. So really taking this low and setting a high, we're talking about the 4 hour right now. On the 4 hour chart, doesn't really change anything because your strong high is here, your weak low is here. Now, what it does do is it creates the possibility for us to change something. So now if we take this low, then our 4 hour strong high moves to here. Which, what does that mean, right? Because if we're looking at external structure, when we ask ourselves, what high created this low? Lower the music. Go. Should be good now. But yeah, when we ask ourselves, what high created this low? It's this high here, right? But if we make a new low on the 4 hour, right? Let's say we do something like this, right? Then when you ask yourself what high created this low, it's this high. So if you're bullish, right? If you're wanting upward price action, then it's so much easier for Bitcoin to pump from here to here than it is for Bitcoin to pump from here to here. And changing the 4 hour structure bullish generally leads to some pretty significant upward price action. So if we can get that kind of setup with a nice risk to reward, that's fantastic, right? Because, I mean, you come down, sweep this, you break this. What is that? That's a 5% stop loss. Even better, you get in on like a golden pocket mitigation. It's like a 2% stop loss. And your target is, well, I mean, depending on how this week closes, your target's either the golden pocket or your target is the previous weekly week high. So that's a pretty nice trade setup. Did I signal both Discords for this 98K setup? Let me make sure I put it in. I did. Yeah, so if you aren't already in the What's up, Alex? Good to see you. Yeah, I was saying maybe on Tuesday, Wednesdays we'll stream an hour early or something. It's good to see you. But yeah, guys, so it's so much easier for Bitcoin to bounce from here and break structure here, then break up here. There's so much confluence at this level down here. We have the liquidity from the daily low here. We have this previously untapped daily demand. We also have the 2-day 200 EMA, which all cycle long has given you pretty much the absolute bottom, right? With the 50 EMA all the way up here, you guys know when we test the 200, when the 50 is above the 200, we pretty much retest the 50, which would be a pump to 111. So that would be awesome. And otherwise, even if it doesn't sweep the bottom here, right, we still have the longs from here. Now, what we have done and what we haven't done, we have came back up to retest supply. And we did get a 5-minute bear break. We did get a 5-minute JPOW at the highs here. So we got our SFP break of structure. We never came back up and broke the high, and now we've come down. But what we haven't done yet is we haven't broken 15-minute structure. So our 15-minute low is still down here. I believe we dumped to like golden pocket of that. Or 786. Yeah, we dumped to 786 of that. We're trying to get a bounce here. But we haven't flipped any key structure yet, right? So we didn't actually take this low over here. So your 5-minute high is still all the way back up here. So if this starts to roll over, then we are going to get a bearish cross to your 50 and 200. And that looks really good if you're looking for the sweep down here into 98K. The more that we pump up before we sweep is kind of annoying, honestly, because like I want kind of compact 4-hour structure. So if we come down and break it now, then it's only like a 5% move to break back bullish. But if we come back up to like golden pocket or these EMAs, then like it's still a little harder to get that break. But that's okay. We trade what we see and we're long, so we're chilling. We have broken this downtrending resistance here. So maybe we just retest this. Kind of what this anchored VWAP is there was a big order. So this right here, if we go to the 1 minute, like look at the volume in this 1 minute candle. So this was a big order. So I've kind of been tracking the VWAP, like this is just an anchored VWAP from there. I was kind of using it to determine when like the trend has shifted. And if you'll notice, like there was so much volume in this order that really this VWAP has not even really moved, right? Because the amount of trading that's happened since that order is really negligible. Like after that order went in, we were dumping away from it, dumping away from it, dumping away from it, flipped it, and now we've just been running off of it. So it looks like they might just be selling off their order into liquidations. But yeah, so I've just kind of been tracking that. That's what this VWAP is. So I do kind of like that VWAP aligns with this this downtrending trend line here. So we do have to watch that. It's also major support in this kind of demand area. But what have we not done, right? We have not broken 30-minute structure. So 30-minute high is here. Right? So if you want more upside, like you want to come into like the golden pocket or these EMAs up here, you got to break above. That's why I have this alert here. You got to break above 104.722, right? Really what we did is we came up and we tested the 15-minute 200. I believe the 20-minute as well. Yeah, this 20-minute is amazing when you're like dumping, right? Like, or even pumping, right? After the 50 cross 200, you usually get a great reaction off of the 20-minute, right? So like you'll see these bearish crosses in the 20-minute. It's a great entry here, right? So that's kind of what we did so far as we came up to the 20-minute here. We're getting a bit of a rejection. So what level is important to watch? So we know that the 20-minute is bullish, right? Ever since this break here, but the 30-minute is bearish. So what would be my indication that we're probably going to at least start coming down to sweep these lows? If we broke this low here, right? If we broke this low here, that would align our 20-minute bearish with our 30-minute. And that would be your indication that we're probably coming lower. Until we break it back bullish again, right? If we come down here and we break it back bullish, then hey, you know. And like what levels look attractive? So this level looks attractive. Right? This level looks attractive, which would be like kind of an SFP here. Kind of an SFP go. You'd want to see like an SFP and then like a 2-minute structure break or something like that to get long if you're looking to get long there. We're kind of getting some nice topping structure here. We just have to break some structure. And then also this order block here looks attractive as well. It's kind of the same level that we bounced from before, kind of this 99.7-ish area. Now again, if we come all the way back down here, it's way more attractive for them to come sweep this double bottom liquidity. So you would have to get like some pretty noticeable structure down here. So I'd say if we get like 15-minute down there, then that would be pretty attractive. Also, what does that kind of create? So you could argue that we had a Model 2 here, right? Because we have the break of structure here. So you get your 1, 2, 3 lows to retest the order block on the third one. What do? Remember, you come up, you flag out at the top of the range, and you SOS, you mitigate, and you continue, right? So this is kind of, I don't know why I did that in red. I'm sure that looks awful. But yeah, if this is a Model 2 accumulation at the low, then you would expect to come down back into your range here, right? Range, initiate, mitigate, continuation. That's the bullish case. The bullish case is we come down to retest this demand, we get structure breaks out of it, and we go up. The bearish case is we come down, we sweep this, get structure breaks here, front run the 4-hour break, get the 4-hour break, and oh my god, that trade would be phenomenal. Be so good. If you guys do not have an alert here, put an alert here, 98-200. With our luck, it's probably going to happen at like 3 in the morning, so nobody can get long. But, yeah, we'll see what happens. Right now, rolling over. Key level to watch sits down here at 102.095. Let me go ahead and put an alert there. Let's see, 20-minute break of structure, bearish. Yeah, so, yeah, sell off. Retest supply. Continue going down. No structure break, right? So we'll see what happens. Let's look at some of our bigger time frames here. Ooh, man, the daily closed below this. Man. Okay, so why is that important? So we already know that we had this daily break of structure here, right? So what does closing below this do? So I guess technically if you want to label it correctly, right? So this was our bearish change of character here. And then this is actually our daily break of structure. So we are now in a confirmed downtrend on the daily. I want to be bullish just like all of you, but again, we trade what we see on this channel, right? And this is bearish. This is bearish. This is definitely bearish. Let's take a look at total here. Okay, so total tried to SFP. I mean, total's yeah, I mean, this kind of aligns with what we're looking at 98K. So we have this untapped order block here. This is probably worth setting an alert on as well. In fact, let's do that now. Oh, wait. Total hitting demand. Total hitting, or not hitting, daily order block. Yeah, guys, so total kind of gave us the clue. Ooh, that's interesting. That is interesting. That's interesting. That's one of the only bullish things I've seen here, but that's pretty cool. But yeah, total gave us the clue. There's a reason that we talked about this so much, right? It's bearish, right? You lose momentum, you break bearish structure, you come for the weak low. Momentum is still clipping to the downside if we're just looking at MACD. MACD is still strong to the downside. A lot of room down here. Bearish divergence coming down. Is it cool to be a bear yet? Or are we still Are we still full bull? Okay. What else can we look at here? Look at Bitcoin dominance. So we talked about this daily break of structure here. We talked about how this targets the week high here. We could get like a bullish cross here. We are starting to get a MACD flip. Well, this candle just opened. We are starting to get a MACD flip on the MACD here. Tapping weekly. Oh, we already mitigated that. It's already been mitigated. Yeah, this looks like dominance is gonna go on a tear. We'll see. Let's see. I don't even know if I want to look at this. This was kind of the last thing keeping me bullish. What are we looking like here? Oof. We are hanging on a cliff here, boys. Break of structure still remains the same spot. We did bounce off the same trend line again. You really don't want to see this lose this low. Because this was your hopium here, was this 12-hour break. And if we break it bearish here, then the kind of last thing that then get if we break this bearish here, this looks like a giant head and shoulders. Like it starts to look way less bullish, but we'll see. We will see. SPX. Man, the memes, dude. 6,900 being the top for the S&P would be hilarious. But the S&P doesn't look like we don't even have a daily structure break on this yet. So, and I mean, a daily structure break is what called the bottom. Like if you guys, some of you guys were probably in FG's Discord with me, and you guys remember me screaming this from the rooftops that we had this daily bullish break of structure here, and then arguing with bears all the time as we go on a crazy bull run. But yeah, like I'm not that worried about 6,500 unless about the S&P unless this breaks. If this breaks, then we get a bearish break on the daily. It doesn't look nearly as good. Right? Like we've almost gotten a daily break here, gets saved. Almost gotten a daily break here, gets saved. Almost got a daily break here, gets saved. Like see how market structure keeps you bullish? Like if you're using structure here, ever since this daily bull break here, there is not a single bear break in sight. Like bulls on parade, right? Yeah, so really not worried about the stock market unless it was 6,500, but 6,900 was an easy meme short. That was pretty easy. Let's see, what does Coinbase look like? Break structure. Break of structure. Coinbase is actually still bullish on the daily. It's interesting. How about in the weekly? Yeah, I mean Coinbase doesn't look bad. Let's see. SFP. Coinbase SFP is the high. That doesn't look so hot. USDT dominance. So the reason that I look at these is like, ooh, did it do it? Okay, guys, this is pretty bearish. All right, so the week isn't closed yet, right? So this could change, but right now, this looks like a break of structure, a weekly uptrend for USDT dominance. This is bearish for Bitcoin. Man, these were kind of the last things that we're holding on to. So we can talk about it too. So one of the things that we were talking about as we were seeing distribution at the highs on Bitcoin is we were seeing accumulation at the lows on USDT dominance, right? You get your 1, 2, break of structure, 3, go. Initiate, mitigate, continue. Yeah, this looks pretty bad for Bitcoin, guys. We'll know at the weekly close. We will know at the weekly close. When macro from Alexo was normally when government reopens, get 9% up. Hey, I'd love that, man. I'm not the guy to ask about fundamentals or news, but hey, that'd be cool. People have finally stopped asking when alt season. Yeah, I mean, altcoins went down 80%. How are these altcoins looking? XRP, Sui. Sui's back down here, $2. Yikes. Looks like shit. Can you imagine if we come for this? I mean, this is the technical target. Imagine if we come for that. That's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah, so the problem with these altcoins and the reason that I wasn't giving TA in this range is it's just all internal structure. Like, yeah, you're gonna get wrecked. Like, you could say that you had like a bullish internal. Man, you don't even have a bullish internal break of structure. Yeah, Sui looks awful. This looks terrible. This looks like a rug. Fucking one day rug. But yeah, we won't be seeing external structure on Sui for quite some time. I mean, I think that the spot pair looks a little bit better. Let's be fair. Let's look at the spot pair. Okay, there you go. Spot pair took the low. Okay, this chart looks way better. Yeah, Sui, you're looking for sweep and go. Okay. Yeah, maybe it's just time to not look at this pair. Okay. Bear claws are still out, guys. Why? Because the 30-minute plus time frame is still down on Bitcoin. Still down. We haven't broken. Well, I mean the 4 hour is still down as well, but like 30-minute plus includes the 4 hour. Everything's bearish. Everything's bearish. Let's check out ETH. We got there. We got there. Oh, that was yesterday. We already talked about this. Yeah, 28.75. 28.75 would be level I'd be watching on ETH. What a joke, man. Short all-time high. Death. Okay, so yeah, again, taking these lows is healthy because you take these lows, you set up to go on a 4 hour bullish break. If we're zooming in on ETH here, all we've done, same thing as Bitcoin, right? All we've done, retest supply. Yikes. Okay. All right. Yeah. You could say like the zone to watch out for is like breaking 33.12. That's kind of your signal that we're coming down. Likely at least to 32.05. This would be kind of your first stop here, 32.05. So If you lose this, expect to come down to 32.05. It's kind of the last untested area because we've already mitigated this high here. So if this breaks, expect to come here. And if we don't SFP, expect to come to 28.75. 28.75. Big level on ETH. Equivalent to like 98K on Bitcoin. What's up, Gear? What's up, 32? Alright. Solana. Same thing. Come up, test supply. Level on Solana is 156. Lose 156, your 20-minute aligns with your 30-minute. Yeah, no 15-minute breaks. Ooh, wait a minute. Oh. Here's your clue. Here's your clue right here. You got a 15-minute JPOW on Sol, Golden Pocket. Oh, that's beautiful, man. That's such a beautiful trade. Such a beautiful short. All right, I need to drink some water. Let me get a 1 in the chat if you guys like some JPOW patterns here. I'm gonna drink some water. I'll be back. All right, I'm back. Okay, so this level doesn't really matter as much on Sol. Sol's already broken 15 minutes, so you're really just looking to see if it can break 15-minute back bullish. This 15-minute JPOW in previous supply. Now remember, why is this supply important? How do we evaluate the strength of this supply? Well, what happened out of this supply? We dumped like crazy. So when we come back to this supply, if we get bear breaks, we would expect a similar reaction. I mean, this level still matters because it's 20-minute structure, but I mean, 15's bearish, 30's bearish. Is pretty bearish, right? I mean, if you come back up and break 163 positive, it's a little bit better on Solana because then you have a 15-minute bull break to play off of. If you are wanting to come up, like, don't get it twisted. There is a lot of liquidity in here, but there's also a lot of unmitigated places for us to stop, right? Like, we haven't mitigated this level. 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 So there's a lot of resistance on the way up. So just be aware of that. Like, if we get bearish structure breaks at any of these levels, it's gonna lead to a nice short reaction. But I mean, I do like the 4 impulse waves down. 1, 2, 3, 4. It generally targets the liquidity in this high, which would send Sol to 165. So we'll see. If you're in a long on Sol, I would take some profit at 165. What does the abbreviation mean? JPOW? Oh, it just stands for Jerome Powell. We just call it that because it's a money printer. So, you know, just like the meme, you know, JPOW start the money printers. This pattern is a money printer. And really, if you want to be technical about it, it's just an SFP break of structure. That's it. But that's a lot less fun to say on stream and harder to type. So we just call it that. ETH Bitcoin. Ooh, nice 15-minute break here. 15 minutes bullish. 15-minute flips bearish. retesting supply. You want if you want ETH to pump, you want to see ETH Bitcoin break 3316. 3316 opens the door to come up to like 3404, which would be a nice pump. But we're not there yet. There's just more work to be done. Nice little head and shoulders here. 15-minute bear break. What about 4-hour here? Same thing, yeah. So all we did was retest supply. We want to see this. Or you're trading internal 4-hour structure between up here and down here. This right here is a perfect example of why internal versus external structure matters. Right? If you don't understand the difference between internal and external structure, then actually this might have been external structure was even dirtier. So you break, is this? Oh, that's even dirtier. Never mind. That's not a good example. I rushed it. Because you break structure here and then you break structure here. So this is actually a break. So this chart is hard to trade. Actually, maybe it's not. Maybe I'm just rushing it. Yeah, because then this is your high. Sorry, I'm going off on a tangent. I'm just wanting to see this myself. Then you break bearish here. Golden pocket. 886. Yeah, okay. It's not actually that hard. It's not actually that hard to trade. But yeah. So this might actually be external structure. Yeah, this is actually external structure. That's actually pretty cool. So if you break 3426 on ETH Bitcoin, you get a 4-hour break, which is nice. So you might want to set an alert here. Sorry, I got a little confused there, guys, but this is correct. So that's an external 4-hour break. What are we looking at here? All right, is there anything that you guys want to look at? And if you guys, no, I mean, I'll look at anything, but if there's not anything I can say about it, I'll tell you. Ooh, virtual is something I can do something with. Yeah, let's look at virtual. How would that hold up in the dump? Daily. Okay, so virtuals, still the same level to worry about. You still don't want to see 120 break. That would be a bearish break of structure on the 4-hour, so you don't want to see that break. You've come down. What did we come down to? 886. I don't really like the way this is moving. So we have 1 hour. Look at that. 1 hour JPOW at the highs. I'm sure we already talked about this. I just deleted my drawings. Yeah, we definitely talked about this. So you get a 1 hour JPOW at the highs. This pattern keeps showing up everywhere, guys, which is why I teach it so much, right? Sell off, down. No structure in here, no 2 green candles in a row. It's where they trick you. This is not a 1 hour structure break. Your 1 hour structure is up here. So what is this? This is like a golden pocket rejection. Yeah, golden pocket rejection. Coming down. Probably going to find some support at like 130-ish. But we're still under bearish 1 hour. What was this? This was a 50 crosses the 200. Rejection from the 200. Confluence with the golden pocket. Confluence with probably 15-minute structure, if I had to guess. Not even. Man, 12-minute? Yeah, 12-minute. 12-minute breaks. Retest supply down. Yeah, so I mean, you could be looking for like 12-minute, 15-minute structure down here, which would have got you in here. But just understand that once 120 breaks, that's bearish on the 4 hour. Not bearish on the daily yet, but that would give you. Oh man, yeah, okay. So I like virtuals here. If the 4 hour breaks, right? Trading prepared traders, profitable trader, right? If this, then that, right? If the 4 hour breaks, you still have bullish daily and you have a ton of support here. So you're looking at like 88 cents. And judging by where the golden pocket is right now, I would say this is likely to break. Now, that is just dubious speculation, right? Let the charts tell you. But also, 50 crosses 200, above the 200, short. Yeah. I'm going to set an alert here because I really like virtuals here. And we'll go ahead and put an alert on this as well. If you want virtuals to come up and break, to come up and test these highs again, like if Bitcoin's going to bounce, you want to see virtuals break 150. You break 150, you get bullish structure. Then you're looking at range, initiation, mitigation, continuation. Looking for mitigation long back up to here. But until 150 breaks, you're still in a downtrend. Looking at the 4 hour on Bitcoin before we sweep down the low, why can't the 4 hour high be out? Yeah, let's look. Great question. Yeah, so the reason why it can't is because so when we have this high, like when this dump happens, I'm glad you asked this question because I can explain it to everyone. So before this dump happens, we have two, let's just make this yellow. So yellow is going to represent structure, right? So before this dump, it might be better to do this on the Coinbase chart, but at least for now, we'll do it on both. For now, we'll do it on this chart. So these are your two external structure points up here and down here. So everything in between these points is internal structure, right? Now, the external structure changes whenever either this point breaks or this point breaks. Think of it like this is the container for price action, and your external structure, everything within that container is happening inside of it is internal structure, right? So all of this does not matter, right? All of this is internal. Well, internal structure is useful somewhat, but in terms of like trend and the way that I evaluate structure, it doesn't matter to the external structure. So when does this change, right? So when does one of these points break? And the answer is right here, right? So now we have a new, what this was this was your weak low. I actually drew a W correct for once. This was your weak low, and this was your strong high, right? So until one of these points breaks, you're just within structure. Now, the weak low breaks here. So when that happens, your weak low moves to here, right? So we can move our structure point to here. Now, since that's our new weak low, we now have to, oh, dang it. Where was this alert? That's fine. That'll work. We now have to ask ourselves, what high created this low inside of our internal structure? So what's the highest point in our internal structure that created, or external structure that created this low? And the answer is right here. All right? Because this is the high that led to this low. So if we're looking at our container now, our strong high is here. Our strong high is here and our weak low is here. Now, why does that change whenever we break? This is an internal high. Just to answer your question really quickly, Barb, right? Because it's internal to these two locations. But why does that change if we then put in a new low, right? Because we just do the same exercise again, right? So if, let's just say, I hope that this is not confusing with these drawings on here, but let's just say that price comes back down to 98K, right? So we've now moved, let's say it comes here, right? We now move our weak low to here. And then we repeat the exercise, right? So which high, let's assume that it stops here and puts in a new low. What high between these 2 points created this low? And that would be here. Why is that important? Because then if price from here comes up and breaks this strong high, this changes from a weak low to a strong low. And it is way easier for Bitcoin to pump from here to here and flip your structure bullish than it is for price to pump from here, in terms of a stop loss perspective for the next move, to here to put in a strong low and a weak high, right? A new weak high. Does that make sense? Okay, cool. Now, it is a little different on the Coinbase chart. So just because I think this will be helpful for understanding external structure a little bit, so we'll repeat the exercise here. I apologize if it's repetitive, guys, but I do think this is helpful for y'all. So if we're doing the same exercise here, so your 4-hour high was here, your 4-hour low was here, right? So on the Coinbase chart, this was your external structure on the 4-hour. So we'll use text. Strong high, weak low. Okay. So then what happens? When does one of these break? It breaks here, right? So now we move our structure. Our weak low is now here. And our strong high was here, right? Because this is the high that created that structure. Which is why we got excited that we had external structure on this chart move down here instead of up here on the Coinbase chart way back here, right? Now, we come up, we SFP this high, right? So it's still strong. We haven't broken it yet. We SFP it. And then where does, which is not a break of structure, right? SFP here. So where does the structure actually break? The structure breaks the weak low here. So then we repeat the exercise, right? So then your weak low moves down here. And where between these 2 points was your high that created this low? Well, it doesn't actually move all that much, right? So your high was here. So your structure right now is still strong high here, weak low here. Similarly, if we then come down and break the weak low again, you repeat the exact same exercise, right? And your weak low moves here. And what high created that low? if we stop here, this high. And the size of the structure gets a lot smaller, and it's a lot easier to break bullish. I think this one probably made more sense than the last one, but hopefully that helps. And that's the same way that you evaluate structure, external structure, on every time frame on all charts, right? It's between, basically, it may actually help to even draw it out like that. So your current structure is this. What high created this low after breaking the previous structure? So anything that, if we do this, none of this is external structure because it's inside of the container of these two spots. Yeah, Tanya, just stick around and ask questions. Like post, don't be afraid to post charts in the Discord, and the best way to learn this stuff is to practice it, really. Oh yeah, guys, I'm gonna have to get the timestamp of this question and tell people to watch it in the. Bearded. So yes, like, so I think the confusion might be, yes, you need 2 consecutive candles in the same direction to create a high or a low, but it doesn't create, but it doesn't. So all highs and lows are created by at least two consecutive candles in the same direction. So yes, this is a high, right? Just like this was a high. But this high is a internal high between these 2 points. So this would, if we come up for, okay, I gotta clean this up. There's no way y'all are able to see any of this. Okay. Let me answer that question again. So yes, this creates a high, just like this created a high, but these are internal highs. So yes, if Bitcoin comes up and breaks this level, that would be an internal break of structure, right? But it's not an external break of structure. So this does create a high. It's just an internal high, if that makes sense. I think I need to cut this out and just post in the Discord and tell people to watch this. Because I was doing a one-on-one with someone yesterday, and I realized that I really do need to slow down because this stuff is complicated, and I just get excited to talk fast. Right, because that high, yeah, great question. So before, let's imagine that none of this price action is, let's do this. Let's go back in time. This will be helpful. Okay. So this is what structure looked like at the point in time when this high was put in, right? So we know that our strong high is here and our weak low is here. You could it doesn't really matter. You could argue that our strong high is here, but just for the sake of learning this, it doesn't really matter. But yeah, so our strong high is here and our weak low is here. So this high is yet to create a new low, and this low, I mean, technically created a new high, but didn't break the high. So yes, we set a low here and we set a high here, but this high doesn't break this low, right? There's no wick here. It doesn't break that low. So it's still internal. So this 4-hour break of structure here is an internal break of structure. Why? Because it's a break of structure between these 2 points, right? Same with the next one, right? So we set a high and we break that low, right? This is, yes, this is a break of structure, but it's an internal break of structure because it's between these 2 points. Then we get to the high that you're talking about. Yes, we created a new high, and we haven't broken the low yet, but we know we eventually broke this, right? So this creates an internal high that leads to an internal break of structure because it's between these 2 points. It's still within the container. So it doesn't really matter, if that makes sense, in terms of external structure and trend. Does that make sense, Bearded? Awesome. Okay, cool. All right, any other questions about any of this stuff? You're probably not the only one with it. So an internal high can make a new weak low. It can make an internal weak low. Oh, an internal high can make a new weak low. Yeah, I think I understand your question. So you're saying like if we set, like let's assume this price action doesn't exist. So we stopped here and then we broke down and then let's say we did this and then we did this. This high was internal until we broke here, creating a new weak low. And then at that point, that internal strong high creates a new external strong high. Is that what you mean? Yeah, maybe do like a refresher on the strong highs and weak lows part of the course video and then come back to this part of the stream. Because I definitely do a better job, I think, judging by the fact that yeah, I think I do a better job explaining like how to see external structure versus internal structure in here than the course. So Kelly, to determine trend, yes, I prefer external structure to determine trend, and we can look over some examples of like why that is. So let's see, do we have any examples in here? Let's do. Okay. So this is a good example here. This is a really good example here. Okay. So looking at doing the same structure analysis here, right? So we know that we have a 30-minute bearish break of structure here. Right? So the structure was like this. Right? The structure is like this. Okay. Actually, the structure was like this. Then we break the low, right? And we set a new low. Then we break the low again and we set a new low. What high created that low? This high here, right? So what do we know about this? We know that, or sorry, so we know that the high was here and the low was here. Then we break structure here. Why is that important? Because what valid 2-candle high within this structure created this low, right? It wasn't this high because there's a higher high here. So yes, this is a valid high, but this is a internal high, right? The highest point that then led to this break of structure is this high here, right? So your structure moves here. Why is that important? Because if you think the break of structure is here, you're wrecked. You're absolutely wrecked, right? Because this is an internal break of structure, right? For 30 minutes to actually have broken here, you would have to break the external structure here. For you to get a real trend shift, you would have to get an external break of structure here. What did you actually get here? Well, you just got a retest of supply. You get a retest of supply and a dump. And if you're thinking, hey, we just broke structure here, I'm going to get in golden pocket. You don't even have any golden pocket support. You just rip through it because the trend is still down. I think this is this is an extremely good example. Does that answer your question, Kelly? Exactly. Exactly, Bearded. I do both, T Candy. Yeah, Kelly, so volume or not volume profiles. Market structure is the only kind of analysis that like it made everything click for me and I can like understand charts just by a quick look at them. And it's like completely rules based, so it's definitely if it clicks for you, it clicks for you. Like everybody has a different strategy that they like, but market structure for me is it's the easiest way. It also gives you predefined stop losses. Like it helps you manage your risk super easy. I couldn't trade without market structure. 100%. All right. Any other questions about what we just went over? No, Cheeks, you gotta understand, man. Like, I I love talking about this stuff. So, ask away your questions. Yeah, I can explain the most recent 5-minute break. So, if we're looking at 5-minute structure on the way up, you get faked out during New York Open with a range deviation, but just ignore that for now, right? So after New York Open, you come up. Where do you set a high? So you break this high. Where do you set a low? 2 red candles. You set a low here. Then you come up, you break that. No 2 red candles in a row here. You set another low here, right? So if you were in a trade, you'd move your stop loss from here to here, right? Then you keep going up. You break the high. This low was internal, right? Because you didn't break the high. You finally break the high here. Where do you set a low? 2 red candles in a row. You set a low here. Why is that important? 2 green candles, valid high, sweeps this high. So this is a SFP. And then you break that low. So this is your bearish break of structure. So this is in supply in a key level. This is your bearish break of structure, right? So you set a low, sweep the high, break the low, never break this high, and then you go down. So that's the 5-minute break of structure here. Okay, I'm gonna answer your question, Tommy, and then I apologize. I do have to run, but I will be live again tomorrow, and I'm happy to talk about this as much as you guys want. Also, come over to the free Discord. It's in the description. We talk about market structure all the time in there. Okay, let's talk about entering a trade. So risk to reward is the answer. So like with a trade like this one, the risk to reward is amazing. Right? Like let's say you're coming back to the lows here because we are in a 30-minute bear trend. So this is a 30-minute week low, right? Hold on 1 second. Someone's calling me. Okay. Sorry. I got a phone call. Yeah, so this is a 10 risk to reward. So I would just enter this one on the break. It doesn't matter to me. I'm not greedy. 10 risk to reward is amazing. But with a trade like the one we got at the lows here, so I know that we're in a 30-minute bear trend. So logically, my first target is going to be this golden pocket. So whenever we break bullish here on the 15-minute, as I was signaling, I'm looking for somewhere where I can get a better risk to reward. Now, generally, I would go golden pocket. Or I think I was using 12-minute. Generally, I'd go golden pocket. Or no, I was using, where's that order block? Yeah. 15-minute. So generally I'd go golden pocket. Now what do I know is also down there? Or I think I used 5-minute demand actually. Yeah, I used 5-minute demand. So what do I know is also down here? I know we have a 5-minute demand zone. So the problem is if I enter on the break on this trade and I put my stop loss down here, this trade is not attractive to me, right? I'm risking this much to possibly make this much. Not attractive. So that's why I put my entry down here, because it's a 3 risk to reward. So you just kind of have to look based on what the risk to reward is. And then you can kind of plan your trade out that way. I usually aim for a 3 risk to reward. And then, you know, when you get the runners, it's great, right? But if you're just aiming for a 3 risk to reward, trust me, over time, if you're winning at least half your trades, you are compounding like crazy, right? And the losses don't really matter. Now, if you're winning more than 50%, it's even better, right? But it's going to be based on risk to reward. Okay, guys. Well, I do have to run on this one. I got a phone call to make, but I appreciate you guys being here. As always, my name is Market Cipher. Trade safe. Much love. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Subscribe, ring the bell, like the video, join the Discord. Take care, guys.